Just when we thought the royal drama was over, here we go again. Words getting out that all might not be well between King Charles and Queen Camilla, and insiders spilling some pretty wild stuff about betrayal and maybe even divorce. Let's dive in. The coronation spectacle. A couple of years back, the world watched Charles and Camilla get crowned king and queen. Westminster Abbey was decked out for the occasion, and the couple looked calm and composed as they took on their new roles. From the outside, everything seemed perfect. London's streets were packed with cheering crowds, and the media coverage was overwhelmingly positive. It felt like the start of a new era for the monarchy, with Charles and Camilla at the helm. However, even during this grand event, there were subtle signs that things weren't as ideal as they appeared. Nothing obvious, just fleeting moments of tension or discomfort that were easy to miss amid the pageantry. At the time, these small incidents could easily have been attributed to the pressure of the occasion. But in light of recent events, they take on new significance. They may have been early indicators of deeper issues brewing beneath the surface. This situation serves as a reminder that public appearances can often mask private struggles, even for those in the highest positions of power and influence. The question now is, how deep do these issues run, and what might they mean for the stability of the monarchy? A complicated love story. To understand the current situation, we need to look back at the long and complex history of Charles and Camilla's relationship. Their story began in the early 1970s when they were introduced by a mutual friend at a polo match. Charles, then 23 and heir to the throne, was immediately drawn to the 24-year-old Camilla Shand. They shared common interests in horses, country life, and had a similar sense of humor. For a time, it seemed like they might be heading towards marriage. However, their relationship faced obstacles from the start. The royal family, particularly Lord Mountbatten, Charles's mentor, didn't consider Camilla a suitable match for the future king. There were concerns about her experience and whether she fit the traditional mold of a potential queen. In 1973, Charles left for naval service. During his absence, Camilla married Andrew Parker Bowles, an army officer who had previously dated Charles's sister, Princess Anne. This turn of events reportedly left Charles heartbroken. Despite the end of their romantic relationship, Charles and Camilla maintained a close friendship over the years. This enduring connection would prove to be a source of both comfort and controversy in their lives. Their early relationship laid the groundwork for decades of speculation, scandal, and eventually, reconciliation. It's a story that intertwines personal desires with royal duty and public expectations, and now it seems this long and complex tale might be entering a new, potentially tumultuous chapter: the Diana years. The next significant chapter in this story involves one of the most famous women of the 20th century, Princess Diana. In 1981, Charles married Lady Diana Spencer in a ceremony watched by millions around the world. The marriage produced 2 sons, William and Harry, but was troubled almost from the start. Throughout Charles and Diana's marriage, Camilla remained a significant presence in the prince's life. Diana was aware of their close friendship and viewed it as a threat to her marriage. In a now famous interview, Diana referred to Camilla as the third person in her marriage to Charles. The public, captivated by the young and charismatic Diana, largely sided with her in the unfolding drama. Camilla became a vilified figure in the media, often portrayed as the other woman who had come between the Prince and Princess of Wales. The strain became too much, and Charles and Diana separated in 1992, finally divorcing in 1996. Throughout this period, Charles and Camilla's relationship, while not openly acknowledged, was a subject of intense media speculation and public disapproval. Diana's tragic death in 1997 further complicated matters. The outpouring of public grief and anger made it difficult for Charles and Camilla to pursue their relationship openly. It would take years of careful public relations work to rehabilitate their image and gain public acceptance. This period in Charles and Camilla's lives demonstrates the complex interplay between personal relationships and public roles within the royal family. It also set the stage for the long journey they would have to undertake to gain acceptance as a couple, rebuilding a relationship. Following Diana's death, Charles and Camilla faced the enormous challenge of rebuilding their relationship in the public eye. It was a delicate balancing act, honoring Diana's memory while moving forward with their lives. The process was slow and careful. Camilla was gradually introduced to public life, first appearing with Charles at non-official events. Their strategy was to normalize their relationship over time, allowing the public to get used to seeing them together. A significant milestone came in 2005 when Charles and Camilla announced their engagement. The news was met with mixed reactions, but there was a sense that enough time had passed for the public to accept their union. Their wedding in April 2005 was a civil ceremony followed by a blessing at St. George's Chapel, Windsor Castle. In deference to public sensitivities, Camilla took the title of Duchess of Cornwall rather than Princess of Wales. Over the years, Camilla worked hard to win over the public. She took on numerous charitable causes, particularly focusing on issues like literacy, osteoporosis awareness, and supporting victims of domestic violence. Her down-to-earth manner and obvious support for Charles gradually earned her respect and acceptance. By the time of Queen Elizabeth II's death in 2022, Camilla had become an established and generally well-liked member of the royal family. The late Queen's endorsement of Camilla as future Queen Consort was seen as the final seal of approval on Charles and Camilla's long journey to legitimacy as a couple. This period of their lives showcases the power of perseverance and the ability of public opinion to shift over time. It set the stage for what many expected to be a smooth transition to their roles as king and queen. Ascension to the throne. When Queen Elizabeth II passed away in September 2022, Charles immediately became king, with Camilla by his side as Queen Consort. Their ascension marked the beginning of a new era for the British monarchy. The initial months of their reign were generally seen as successful. Charles, having waited longer than any heir in British history to become monarch, seemed well prepared for the role. He brought his long-standing interests in environmental issues and architectural preservation to his new position, while maintaining the traditions expected of the British monarch. Camilla, too, seemed to step into her new role with grace. She supported Charles in his duties and continued her charitable work, now with the added prestige of her new title. However, the pressures of their new roles may have begun to take a toll on their relationship. The demands of being king and queen are intense, with a relentless schedule of public appearances, diplomatic duties, and the weighty responsibility of being the figureheads of the nation. It's worth noting that Charles and Camilla are both in their 70s, an age when many people are enjoying retirement. Instead, they've taken on one of the most high-profile and demanding jobs in the world. The strain of this may be a factor in the tensions that have reportedly emerged between them. The betrayal allegations. Recent allegations have emerged suggesting that all may not be well in the royal marriage. The most serious of these center around Camilla's relationship with her ex-husband, Andrew Parker Bowles. There are claims that Camilla has been spending an increasing amount of time with Parker Bowles, often without Charles's knowledge or approval. While it's well known that Camilla and Andrew have maintained an amicable relationship since their divorce, these recent interactions have reportedly gone beyond simple friendship. There are descriptions of private meetings, long phone calls, and what some have termed as inappropriate levels of emotional intimacy. It's important to note that there's no suggestion of a physical affair. However, the emotional connection between Camilla and her ex-husband has allegedly become a significant source of tension in her marriage to Charles. There are also claims that Camilla has been confiding in Parker Bowles about the pressures of royal life and her frustrations with Charles. This breach of the king's privacy has reportedly left Charles feeling betrayed and isolated. Adding to the complexity of the situation is the fact that Andrew Parker Bowles has long been a fixture in royal circles. He's been present at numerous royal events over the years, including Charles and Camilla's wedding, and more recently, the coronation. This makes it challenging for Charles to completely distance himself from his wife's ex-husband. These allegations, if true, paint a picture of a deep-seated issue in the royal marriage. They suggest that despite their long history and the struggles they've overcome together, there may be unresolved tensions and trust issues between Charles and Camilla. As this situation continues to unfold, it raises questions about how these allegations might affect King Charles and what implications they could have for the monarchy as a whole. Charles's royal frustration. Reports suggest that King Charles is increasingly frustrated and hurt by his wife's alleged behavior. There are accounts of Charles losing his temper behind closed doors, a stark contrast to his usually composed public persona. One particularly telling incident reportedly occurred after a state dinner. Once the guests had left and the couple retired to their private quarters, Charles confronted Camilla about a lengthy conversation she'd had with Andrew Parker Bowles earlier that day. The ensuing argument was apparently overheard by several staff members. There are also mentions of changes in Charles's behavior during public events. Observers have noted instances where the king has appeared distracted or irritable, particularly when Camilla is engaging with other guests. There have been moments where Charles has abruptly ended conversations or left events earlier than scheduled. These outbursts and changes in demeanor are causing concern among royal staff and advisors. There's worry that if Charles can't maintain his composure, it could lead to public incidents that would damage the monarchy's image. It's worth noting that Charles has always been known for his passionate nature, particularly when it comes to causes he cares about. However, these recent reports suggest a level of personal distress that goes beyond his usual intensity. Charles reportedly feels particularly betrayed, given the long journey he and Camilla have been on together. After years of controversy and hard work to gain public acceptance, the idea that Camilla might be jeopardizing their relationship is apparently devastating to the king. Palace in crisis. The alleged tensions between Charles and Camilla aren't occurring in a vacuum. The situation is causing ripple effects throughout the royal family and the palace staff. Prince William and Catherine, the Prince and Princess of Wales, are said to be deeply concerned about the situation. As next in line to the throne, William is acutely aware of how any instability in his father's marriage could affect the monarchy. There are reports of increased private meetings between Charles and William, presumably to discuss the situation and its potential ramifications. Meanwhile, Prince Harry and Meghan, despite their distance from royal duties, are also said to be aware of the situation. There are suggestions that Harry has reached out to his father, offering support, though the details of their communication remain private. The palace staff are reportedly walking on eggshells, trying to manage the tense atmosphere while keeping up appearances for the public. There are concerns about information leaks, with stricter privacy measures being implemented. The royal household's PR team is said to be on high alert, preparing for various scenarios should the allegations become public. They're reportedly crafting statements and planning media strategies to mitigate any potential damage to the monarchy's image. There's also concern about how this situation might affect upcoming royal events and tours. Questions are being raised about whether Charles and Camilla can continue to present a united front, and whether some engagements might need to be rescheduled or reassigned to other royals. Overall, the picture that emerges is one of a palace in crisis mode, trying to manage a delicate situation that threatens to undermine the stability of the newly established reign of King Charles III. Public and media reaction. While the details of the alleged royal rift haven't been widely publicized, there's been growing speculation in the media and among the public about tensions within the royal family. Social media has been abuzz with theories and discussions. Some users have noted perceived changes in Charles and Camilla's body language at recent events, sparking debates about the state of their relationship. Royal watchers and commentators have been cautious in their public statements, given the lack of official confirmation. However, many have noted that the frequency of joint appearances by Charles and Camilla has decreased in recent weeks. Public opinion seems divided. Some express sympathy for Charles, viewing him as potentially betrayed after years of loyalty. Others are more sympathetic to Camilla, speculating about the pressures she faces as queen. There's also a segment of the population that views the situation with cynicism, seeing it as yet another chapter in the ongoing royal drama. Some have even questioned whether the monarchy can survive another high-profile marital breakdown. Media outlets are treading carefully, aware of the legal and ethical implications of reporting on royal private lives without solid evidence. However, there's been an increase in articles analyzing Charles and Camilla's recent public appearances and speculating about the state of their relationship. Overall, while there's no consensus in public opinion, there's a growing sense of unease about the stability of the new reign, which could have long-term implications for public support of the monarchy. Constitutional implications. The alleged tensions between Charles and Camilla raise significant questions about the potential constitutional implications for the monarchy. Legal experts point out that while divorce is no longer the taboo it once was for royals, it would be unprecedented for a reigning monarch to divorce. The last time a British monarch divorced was Henry VIII in the 16th century, and that led to the creation of the Church of England. There are concerns about how a potential separation or divorce could affect Charles's position as Supreme Governor of the Church of England. While the Church now allows divorce and remarriage, there could be questions about the king's moral authority in this role if his own marriage were to end. Another key issue is the impact on the line of succession. While a divorce wouldn't directly affect Charles's position as king, it could potentially influence public opinion and parliamentary support for the monarchy. There are also questions about Camilla's status and titles in the event of a separation or divorce. As queen consort, her position is tied to her marriage to Charles. A breakdown of their relationship could lead to complex legal and constitutional discussions about her role and status. Some constitutional experts suggest that if the situation were to escalate, it could potentially trigger a wider debate about the role of the monarchy in modern Britain. However, they also note that the institution has weathered many storms in the past and has shown remarkable resilience. The future of the monarchy. As we consider the potential fallout from these allegations, it's important to look at what this could mean for the future of the British monarchy. The royal family has weathered many storms over the years, from abdications to divorces, but the current situation presents unique challenges. King Charles III has only recently taken the throne, and any instability in his reign could have far-reaching consequences. If the allegations prove true and the tensions between Charles and Camilla cannot be resolved, it could potentially lead to a separation or even a divorce. Such an event would be unprecedented in modern times for a reigning monarch and could shake public confidence in the institution. There's also the question of how this might affect the younger generations of royals. Prince William and Catherine, as next in line, would likely face increased scrutiny and pressure. Some royal watchers speculate that if Charles's reign were to be significantly destabilized, there might be calls for him to abdicate in favor of William. On the other hand, this situation could potentially lead to a modernization of the monarchy. If handled with transparency and dignity, it could demonstrate that the royals face the same challenges as many ordinary families, potentially making them more relatable to the public. The monarchy's role in British society has been evolving, and this situation could accelerate that process. There might be renewed debates about the relevance of the institution in the 21st century and whether it needs further reform. Ultimately, the future of the monarchy will depend on how this situation unfolds and how it's managed. If Charles and Camilla can resolve their issues and present a united front, it could actually strengthen their image as a couple who've overcome challenges together. If not, the monarchy may face one of its biggest tests in recent history. The coming months will be crucial for the future of the British royal family. The way Charles, Camilla, and the rest of the royals handle this situation could shape public perception of the monarchy for years to come. So there you have it. What started as whispers has turned into a full-blown royal mess. Will Charles and Camilla work it out? Or are we looking at the first royal divorce of a reigning monarch in centuries? Whatever happens, it's clear the monarchy's in for a bumpy ride. This could change everything. Or maybe it'll blow over like so many royal scandals before. One thing's for sure. The world will be watching to see how this plays out.